Good evening, everyone. I'm Amy Wilson from Otherworldly Waxes. You can find us online at otherworldlywaxes.com, on Instagram at Otherworldly Waxes, and on Facebook at Otherworldly Waxes and whatever. We were located on East 7th Street between 1st and A. We were established in 1993 by Catherine Riggs Bergeson, and I was graced and blessed enough to inherit the shop from her. And I have been carrying it forward since and moved it to Beacon, New York. So we are located at the old Beacon High School at 211 Fishkill Avenue in classroom 309 in Beacon, New York. And we are open once a month, every third Saturday of the month, to the general public. I do take appointments, in-person appointments that have to be scheduled in advance. Most of my clientele I deal with privately. I am not generally open to the public. I do have very private clientele, so I do take private consultations and appointments as well as readings. My readings involve psychometry, energy, some tarot, and some tea. You can find my menu of the different types of readings and energy healings that I do offer on my website, otherworldlywaxes.com. So before I keep boring you with all my services, my specialty here at the shop is candle magic. And I make glitter candles, which I bless, adorn, and do, and they're all ritualized. I can't even say that today. So these are the candles that I make and then I sell online that you can look up. I have some on the shelf over here that I made that I keep on display at the shop. So what I'm going to do this evening is I'm just going to give you a little quick demo about what it is that I do. I'm not going to share all of my secrets, but I will share a little bit of my secrets. So we are going to make a candle for a client together, and I hope she's watching tonight. So it's extra charge with extra love, and we'll take it from there. Get the full view. So now what I'm going to do is create a candle for a client. So basically, when clients order candles from me, they send me an email or attach a note to their order, basically describing what it is their intent should be aimed for. So this particular client is looking to have a success candle made for her business to help her business prosper. So what I do is I create a candle for her with the intent and the focus on seeing her business prosper. Now the thing with making positive candles, you still get the threefold law. So when you put out positivity to someone towards a particular intent, that you will also receive in return threefold. And you know, you usually hear about karma, a threefold law, like things coming back to you in a negative impact. That's why for me it's very important to do positive magic and to project forward positive things onto other people and work with them with positive intent. I even suggest to a lot of my clients and even my students that if you give an enemy something positive to focus on, you can send them away instead of going at them in a negative way, which in turn will bring more negativity to you. So the next time you feel like doing a little bit of negative magic, feel free to send out some positive vibes to that person and see what happens in your life and see how you actually will flourish that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare a glass. And I apologize in advance if my head gets cut off. It might be a positive thing for you. Anyway, I will pick out a particular color to work with. Since she's working in her business and wants to achieve success, I typically use orange because it's about communication, business, and transactions, which also represents the planet Mercury. I like to use 7-day candles. The pull-out candles, they're the most convenient and the easiest to work with for me. And I also wear an apron. It's my daddy-o patio barbecue apron. So I don't get too witchy. Those are people who know me very well. I don't necessarily come off the way most witches do. So what I do is I prepare the glass. Now, a lot of the people who do candle magic, they prepare their candles beautifully, but sometimes they forget about the vessel that the candle will reside in during burning. I like to remove the labels. I use a razor because I can't seem to get the sticky stuff off ever. And even with a razor, I have a tendency not to do it very well. So I apologize in advance. So what I do is I clean the glass. I get the sticky label off, the UPC label off. Now, where I purchase my 7-day pull-out candles, I know the people who own the shop, they're really fantastic, but I still like to clear the glass and cleanse it of any possible negativity that may be attached to it. Because you just never know. Sometimes you get people in shops or places that just, you know, maybe having a bad day and they're just throwing their weight around, and maybe they accidentally threw it on the case of candles that you ordered. So I typically use Florida water to clean out my glasses. I go inside and I make sure the glass is nice and clean, because this is the vessel that's going to support your magic. So you definitely want to have the negativity off. Sometimes if I feel a little intense, a little Florida water helps clear that aura off as well. So now that our glass is prepared and our candle is ready, we would do a grounding and centering before we actually started any of the actual working. So whatever your grounding and centering technique is, I always recommend to do that. Some people like to cast circles, set up protective barriers. I do my work at my shop, so I already have my space contained and sealed. So it just depends on the practitioner and how they actually go about doing their workings. So what I'm going to do is carve the candle with the seal that I'm going to use. Now I'm giving a candle magic class that will actually get into a lot of the detail on how to carve your candles on September 19th. You can find that on my website as well. And you can register for the class, where I'll actually send you kits of a pull-out candle corresponding with the intent that you select, like health, success, love, I forgot what the other, money, that sort of thing. So I'll send the corresponding candle color as well as oil and incense to go with your candle. So since our client here is looking for success, I will create a success seal on her candle. I like to carve, which I've been made fun of a lot, a knitting needle. This is my consecrated knitting needle. I like it because it's metal, it's strong, it's sturdy, it carves into the wax really well and clearly, which I'll show you in a minute once I finish my seal. Some practitioners really like to carve in deeply. Some practitioners really like to lightly scratch the surface. You know, I've been asked a million times which is better. My opinion on it is whatever you feel drawn to do. If you feel like carving deep into your candle with a knife or an X-Acto knife or your Athame or whatever it is you choose to use, then do that. This just feels natural to me, probably because I sew and I knit and I do all these crafty things, so it just feels normal to me. So that's why I feel that the knitting needle is the best to work with for me. Some people do not, and you know, that's okay. That's your magic. And there is no rules set in stone, so to speak, in terms of how you carve your candles. So here, I hope you can see it, that the light's good. I carved my sigil or my seal into the candle for my client. And I'm just going to write her name on it, and I'm not sharing that with you, so I'm sorry. But if you want to send good vibes to her for her success, I greatly support that. So now that I have my candle carved, I like to prepare my glass. Now, offerings of honey are given to the candle, and the amount of pennies. Now, when I work with clients, we sit with the pennies, and I ask the client to focus on the pennies that they are using to make wishes on towards the intent. So if this client was actually here, I would give her 6 pennies, because 6 represents success. And I would ask her to focus on what it is that she desires to happen within her business to make it more successful. It could be maybe bringing in more money, bringing in better employees, bringing in more foot traffic, whatever it is that she needs to have her business become successful for her. But since she's not here, I drop them in the glass for her. And when I send out my candles, I also send out a little instructions sheet of what to do with the candles. So when she receives the candle, she'll be able to sit and meditate with it and focus on the intent that she wants to bring in. Now, we have our candle carved, we have our glass prepared. Now we need our oil. So what I would do is I would pick success-focused oils and incense to go with her particular candle. I'll step away for a hot second. So I am choosing Super Fast Luck oil and Success incense. Now I have a tendency to choose the incenses and the oils based upon the client's request. Now she's talking about needing to have her business pick up quickly to help support her and her family. She's trying to become more successful. So I chose Super Fast Luck to help push that trajectory, to help her get to her goals much more quickly than maybe she would on a normal basis. And then I chose Success Incense to help bring in that success. So Super Fast Luck to push forward that energy and bring in that clientele quickly, as well as make it successful. So maybe repeat clientele or whatever she is looking for, particularly to sustain. So when I do, I always shake my oils before I use them, because sometimes the essentials will settle. I start from the middle of my candle and I move up. So as above, so below. And I make sure my candle's completely covered in oil, just every little bit. Sometimes, depending upon the order or the client, I will pull out the wick and I will dress the wick too, maybe with a different oil. It just all depends upon what I feel the client may need at that time. Sometimes some clients will need a little more punch and some not so much, because that manifestation is going to happen quickly, and I trust my intuition when I do that. I have to trust what my guides come in and say to me about this particular order or this particular candle. Now, rubbing alcohol is your friend. So if you have extra oil on your hand, always use a little bit of rubbing alcohol. It does dry out your hands. I mean, I think we all pretty much know that as of lately. But it cuts through any sort of oil dressing. condition oils or whatever you may call them. So if your hands get too oily. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to glitter the candles, or the candle I should say. So I like to use extra fine glitter. Some people like a little bigger coarse glitter, not my jam, but to each his own. There is no judgment at all on what kind of glitter you use. I like to use colors corresponding with our goals. Since we're working on success in business, we would use green to attract, because green is associated with the planet Venus and our heart chakra. So we would use some green. I like to mix turquoise in there. It's one of my favorites. Blue for Jupiter, for expansion, success, expansion. Obviously orange, we have the candle. I should have had this set up beforehand so you can see how tedious this can be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my glitter, and I'm going to set up everything, and then I'm going to do a little bit of glittering, but I'm not going to make you sit through the entire process. I'm actually going to speed it up so you don't fall asleep watching this video. Hopefully you don't. Now that we've finished, so I stick my hand in the glitter. This is our finished candle. Now it's still slippery and has oil on it as well. I mean, you saw the process sped up. So, but basically when I create a candle for a client, everything is very specific to what they need and their intent. And it's, for me as a practitioner of the magical arts, it's very important that each client is catered to. I mean, you can have your generic candles, that you buy off the shelf and burn them, and I'm not saying that they don't work, but when you have somebody putting a little extra charge on it, I find that they're more effective. And a lot of the practitioners that I work with, through Moon Serpent and Bone, and now the virtual Full Moon Magical Market, are genuine practitioners that I fully support. So obviously, like if you order a candle from me, you'll get it specialized just for you. And I'm sure if you order any of the products or services from anybody who is participating in this event, you will also get fantastic service from them as well. Now, after I've ordained and decorated my candle, ordained, or whatever, my candle, I ritualize it and I add my incense and I pray, charge, whatever terminology you choose to use when you do your practices, the actual candle. So I do the whole ritual, which very few have seen, and I'm not showing here, so I'm sorry. If you come in person, you'll be able to see it. But then I pack it up, I fill out the instructions for my clients, I attach them to the actual glass themselves. So when the client receives the candle, they know how to use it and what to focus on. And I also include the oils and the incense that I use, as well as any other specialty items, such like if it's an uncrossing candle, I might include holy water, protection, I might include a Cardea. It all depends upon what my intuition, what my guides are chiming in and telling me that is important to do, to include into the ritual itself. So I will ritualize it and I will show you in the glass. We are officially done. It's been charged, it's been mojoed, all the goodness has been put inside, ready for the client. So I'll just fill out the form and ship it out. If you have any questions or interest in participating in my virtual online candle class, please again visit our website, www.otherworldlywaxes.com, and you'll find All the information located on the events and classes page. Or you can email me directly, Amy Wilson, at otherworldlywaxes@gmail.com. You'll find all my links, all my social media links, everything on my presenters page. So feel free to reach out, follow, like, support, and please support all the vendors that are participating in tonight's market, as well as the readers and the presenters. And again, thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. Take care.